So now we're going to talk about using Jett's dash. There are a couple of different ways to use Jett dash, and we're going to go over all of them. I would say probably about 3. And they're all important to know. You're going to use it differently in different situations. Some Jetts only really use it for like the one different situation, and that's going to just leave you in a position where you're not being as effective as you can be. So the first way that we're going to talk about is to using her dash to get out of bad situations. So this is something that you see from like Reyna's and Yoru's a lot of the times. They'll use their TP as like a fallback TP or Reyna's dismiss, where if she's ever in a bad spot and she doesn't like her positioning, she feels like she can be swung, she will just dismiss out, right? This is going to be the same thing with Jett. Whereas like if I'm taking this orb, for example, and I have 4 players swing me, 1, 2, 3, and then like close, 4. I don't like that, right? I don't want to be dueling 4 players right now. So instead, once I see that, I'm just gonna dash away, right? Rather than taking those duels or letting those players try to kill me, I'm just gonna get scared and I'm gonna dash out, because that's not a fight I want to take. I want to take 1v1s. I don't want to take 4v1s. That doesn't sound like a good idea, right? So you're basically just gonna use this whenever you're in a position that you don't like and you want to get out. Say I'm right here and I'm aiming right here and somebody swings me from the right. I don't like this because I'm gonna have to flick. I don't like having to do that flick, so I'm just gonna dash out. Rather than taking that duel, I'm just going to dash away, because now I know where this player is, and I can take a duel on my terms now, right? So that's basically how you'll use the dash. A lot of the times you'll see this with an operator. If I'm going to take a duel with an operator, it can put me in positions that I don't like. For example, if I like jump peek this or something, and somebody's here, and I miss my shot, I don't like that. I just jump peeked into the open, and now I can't shoot because I just fired and I missed. So now, I would not do that, sorry. I would just dash out, because then I don't have to worry about getting traded. I missed my op shot. That's okay. I can just dash away. So that's basically the first way to use Jett dash, just to get yourself out of bad situations. And a lot of the times this is what you'll see Jetts will do when they bait their entire team, because they don't know how to use their dash for their team, right? So now we're going to talk about how you use your dash for your team. Well, a way that you would do that, as we've talked about probably in previous videos, is you would dash onto site. It's very important for you to dash onto site, because this is Jett's tool for entry, right? This is how she engages onto a site. So oftentimes when you see players do this, they'll do something like this. This is actually wrong. This is not good. And the reason for that is because Jett's dash, although an entry tool, can also be used to gather information, because it's so fast, you're not going to get hit out of the air while you're doing it or anything, right? So while I'm dashing in, rather than doing something like that, I would do something like this, right? Where now I can clear the left or I can clear the right. You can also just look around while you're doing it, right? You can kind of just do something like that. In this way, you can actually gather info as you entry. So look around, nobody's there. And now you can take your duels. Generally, you want your smoke to land a little bit closer. And the reason that I'm smoking this, by the way, is because I don't want to die after I dash in. Because you notice I don't have my gun out. Now my gun's out, right? It takes a second for my gun to come out. So if I just dash out here, oh, I just exposed myself to every angle in the game, and now I don't have a gun out, right? It's not good. So that way, when you throw your smoke, clear out the angles, and now I'm in the smoke, and it's harder for me to get traded, right? Now, this is really effective for the reasoning that if a player's playing close, it'll make him have to make a decision, right? Once the Jett dash is in, do I take the duel on the Jett and try to kill her while she's in her smoke? That's going to be kind of hard. She could be anywhere in there. You know, like, is she swinging me? Is she going to swing out of the smoke when I start spraying? And then the other thing to keep in mind is that she's going to have teammates right here, right? So if you do try to do that, they're going to swing you. They're just going to kill you, right? Because she already saw you there. She called it out, and then you're just getting swung by people, and she's going to swing you from sight. This is why it's so effective, right? This player needs to make a decision of what he's going to do. He's probably just going to get traded out at the very least, right? He's going to go 1-for-1, and that's going to be bad. The other thing you could do is try to kill these guys, but now Jett's swinging him back sight, and that's not going to work out well for him. So this is why this is so effective. Now, what I wouldn't recommend is if you're going to do something like this, I wouldn't swing back sight right away. Like, I'm just going to swing back here. Now I've isolated myself from my entire team, and I'm taking a duel back sight, which, like, although I dashed back here, this can be effective. It's going to be a lot more effective if we have some sort of utility. So say you use a Breach Flash, an Omen Blind, or like a Sova Recon up here. This is going to be a lot better for you, because now when you swing back sight, you have an idea of what to expect. You're going to expect a blinded target or somebody who's been recon, right? But if you don't use any of that, and I just swing back sight, you isolate yourself from your entire team, and this is not going to be lovely. Because now I'm swinging into a crossfire potentially. There could be anybody, anywhere, and that's just not going to be good. So instead, what I would recommend is if you don't have any utility or you haven't communicated that with your team, rather than doing something like that, when you dash into the smoke and swing back like this, right? Swing back sight or close sight, because this way your teammates can actually help you a little bit, right? You're going to have this thing to isolate you from back sight, and now you can help clear these close angles first, and then you can start swinging back sight or something if you wanted to. You can kind of collapse with your team. This is going to be a lot better for using your dash. And you can do this pretty much anywhere, right? I could dash into garage if I really wanted to, do something like this. And this is going to make this player in the corner kind of have to pick. or maybe somebody who's playing around here. If you wanted to come over to B, you can come over to B and you can do something similar. Maybe you smoke off the left or something and you dash in, clear the right side, and then you kind of come in like that. Or you can do it on the A site over here. And these are all effective ways to engage as Jett. You probably want to clear this angle too as when you do this. That's why you'll kind of just turn around a lot of the times when you dash in. Oops. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cluster of abilities right now, but you guys get the idea. You kind of want to just practice this technique of just dashing onto site and clearing out corners for your team, and you can kind of use your smokes to your advantage and stuff. And then the last way that we're going to talk about using Jett dash is going to be more for clutch situations or 1v1s. And the way that this is going to work basically is just dashing in place, and you can do that by looking at the ground or dashing into a wall. My bad, sorry. Like that. And then it'll kind of just, it'll jar the enemy's knowledge of your position. Because basically, the clutch situation I'm going to propose here is you have a guy right here, right? And you're playing as Jett right here, you're in a 1v1. If I throw a smoke right here, and then I dash into the wall, he just hears the dash sound. So the guy who's sitting right here probably is going to think she dashed back sight, because that's what makes the most sense, right? She smoked here so she could dash across. And now he's going to start pre-aiming this. But imagine if instead of doing that, what I did is I smoked this, dashed into the wall, and then I start walking through here. He's suddenly pre-aiming the other side because he thinks that I just dashed across or something, and he thinks I'm about to swing him. But instead, I just walked through the smoke and I'm going to kill him, right? So this could be incredibly detrimental or usable in these clutch situations where the player just doesn't really realize, right? So you can use this to your advantage. Think of different situations in which it would be applicable and use it to your advantage, right? I prefer to dash into the wall rather than looking down. I've seen a lot of Jetts do that. When you look down, the thing to keep in mind is that it brings your crosshair placement like way down, right? So if I'm looking straight down and I dash, I have to look back up, right? So if I'm trying to bait somebody like right here or something, I would probably rather throw my smoke and then just dash into the wall, because that way they're probably not going to think that I just dashed into a wall, right? If you block off like the corner, dashing, where'd she go? Or as opposed to if I dash into like the ground and then I have to reposition my crosshair. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of how to use Jett dash though in the different situations in which it's useful. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.